Welcome to the AI for Career Success video overview by Curt Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition. Today, we're exploring a critical shift in perspective from Raj Sarkar's article, I Thought I Understood AI. I Didn't, which was published back on January 4th, 2026. You see, he argues that for most of us, there's a pretty dangerous gap between using AI and truly understanding it.
Sarkar starts with a confession that I think many of us can probably relate to. He was good with AI tools, right? He could build workflows, he sounded like he knew what he was talking about in meetings. He was telling himself a comfortable story. And it's a story where knowing how to operate the tool means you get the technology. But as he soon discovered, that story is dangerously incomplete.
So this really gets to the heart of the matter. Are we all just confusing familiarity with actual comprehension? I mean, it's easy enough to automate a task or generate some text and feel like we've got a handle on AI. But when we just focus on that user interface, the chat window, we're missing the massive, massive system running underneath. And it's in that gap, the one between using the tool and understanding the system, that's where the real risks and opportunities are hiding.
Okay, so let's unpack this illusion of understanding. Getting familiar with AI tools, well, that's valuable for productivity, no doubt. You can get some real results, and fast. But that surface-level skill, that's not where the strategic game is being played. For any serious professional or leader, true understanding means looking far, far beyond the chat box.
And this, right here, is the core distinction. Using AI is operational. It's about applying a tool to get something done faster or more efficiently. But understanding AI, well, that's strategic. It's about grasping the underlying physics and, frankly, the political economy of these systems, the incredible need for specialized chips, for capital, for energy. That's what really dictates who holds power and who gets to shape the future.
This thinking leads us to the article's central argument. We need a fundamental reframing of how we even view AI. The single biggest mistake we can make is to approach AI as if it's just another piece of software, just another product to adopt.
This quote is really the key to the whole piece. It says, we misunderstand AI when we treat it as a product to adopt, not an infrastructure to join. As soon as you see AI as infrastructure, think of it like the electrical grid or the internet. The entire conversation changes. It's no longer about features and user experience. It's suddenly about governance, access, and control.
This chart here illustrates that difference perfectly. Look, we purchase a product, we govern an infrastructure. A product is a feature, an infrastructure is an entire system. And the stakes? For a product, it's about individual use. But for an infrastructure, the stakes are geopolitical. These things are fought over, they're secured, and they're controlled on a national, even global level.
Sarkar offers a really powerful analogy to drive this point home. Our daily interaction with AI is like flipping a light switch. Sure, the switch is useful, it matters, but it tells you absolutely nothing about the power plants, the transmission lines, and the global politics that make that electricity flow. The switch is just not the system.
So what does it really mean to call AI infrastructure? Well, it means we have to look behind the curtain. Because behind that smooth, seamless digital interface is a massive, complex, and very physical industrial process that is almost totally invisible to us as users. These are the real-world constraints. AI is built on specialized hardware that has very fragile supply chains. It demands an enormous amount of energy. Just building the data centers requires navigating all sorts of local politics. Access to the chips themselves is controlled by geopolitical choke points. And, critically, the so-called magic relies on a vast and often hidden human workforce for data labeling and safety review. That's the work that makes the clean interface possible.
So, with this infrastructure-level view, we can now talk about something like job displacement much more soberly. It's not going to show up as some dramatic announcement. Instead, the mechanism is quiet, it's gradual, and it's really just rooted in simple budget math.
This is how disruption actually plays out inside a company. It's not with a bang, but with a series of small, individually defensible decisions. First, you might reduce contractors. Then, you just don't backfill open positions. After that, you merge two roles into one strategic position. And finally, you increase output expectations for everyone who's left, and you call it efficiency. It's a slow, quiet renegotiation of work itself. And this all leads to a second-order effect that might be even more significant. As AI gets embedded deeper into our workflows, it doesn't just substitute for labor, it actually changes the very definition of good work. A team that was once valued for thoughtful craftsmanship could now be judged on its ability to produce infinite, immediate drafts. And all of a sudden, what looked like a simple tooling problem becomes a deep, complex challenge of leadership and governance.
So, what should leaders actually do with this knowledge? Well, adopting this infrastructure-level view of AI creates a whole new mandate, a set of responsibilities that go far beyond just encouraging your team to adopt a new tool.
Sarkar outlines 4 pillars for this new mandate. First, leaders have to separate the impressive tech demos from what is actually economically viable at scale. Second, they have to treat their own private data as the core strategic asset it is. Third, the focus has to be on redesigning roles in teams, not just on cutting headcount. And finally, you have to build a vendor strategy that accounts for these new infrastructural risks, complete with backups and an exit plan.
Beyond the strategy, there is one final, critical point. Leaders need moral seriousness. AI will create real imbalances of power, of wealth, and of opportunity. Leaders are going to be part of these shifts, whether they intend to be or not. The responsibility isn't just to chase efficiency, it's to acknowledge these powerful effects and address them head-on, not pretend they're somebody else's problem. This leaves us with a final and I think provocative question to reflect on. Are you simply operating the tools, or are you preparing to lead? Are you content with just flipping the switch, or are you ready for the strategic work of understanding the entire system and guiding your organization through all of its consequences? Thank you for watching. This is where we teach you AI and help you get smarter than your competition. To continue learning with us, please subscribe to the AI for Career Success YouTube channel. And if you found this overview valuable, please like, comment, and share to help others move from just using AI to truly understanding it.